of vacation that most teenagers take, but swimming with sharks and riding elephants are just some of the things David and Ben McLean from Kelowna, BC did on their amazing 2-year-long adventure around the world. David and Ben have written children's books based on their experiences, and they join us this morning from Vancouver. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
You know, when you think of all your travels, and I was just, reading through some of the places and some of the things that you did, from building orphanages in Mexico and India to going to Costa Rica, you've done so much. David, let me begin with you. Is there one experience among so many that stands out?
Well, of course, with all the experiences we did, everything stands out completely. But if I were to narrow it down to one specific experience, it was almost exactly a year ago when our family went to India for about 3 weeks. It was a trip that totally changed our lives forever, taking us to a completely different culture, seeing things that we had never dreamt of seeing. And at one point we went and worked in an orphanage in a children's home in northern India for about 4 days. And it was just incredible, the time we spent with all the children there. We played cricket maybe about 7 hours every single day. We were never left alone. We always had someone holding our hand or on our back or something. It was just an incredible time. And then on the last day, they held a massive dance party for us, and it was a very emotional goodbye. And we still have not forgotten the time that we spent in that children's home in India.
Certainly not. And Ben, let me ask you, how did this all change you?
Oh, it really changed me in viewing, it made me feel like how privileged I was to live in Canada and to have food, every food at the table, and have a bed and a home to sleep in.
Mm-hmm.
And then the two of you decided to write books and become authors. And David, you wrote Jeffy's World Safari. I think you've got that there. And Ben, you wrote Goodbye Zoo. And really, it's kind of children's books based on some of your experiences. David, what made you decide to write Safari?
Well, the topic for Jeffy's World Safari actually started up as kind of like a dinner table conversation. One day we were kind of like, hey, how many different groups of animals can you name? And this is what my book is about. My book is Jeffy's World Safari, and it's about a young man who travels around the world. And in every different country he goes to, he sees different groups of animals. So he went to Brazil, and he saw he saw a flock of parrots. Or he goes to Kenya and he sees a pride of lions. So the idea for the book was, first of all, basically a dinner table conversation. Mm-hmm. And then the reason why we wanted to write them is because after we had done all of our work in orphanages in Mexico, after we had learned about the environment, stuff like that, we wanted to support what the people running the orphanages were doing, and we wanted to support organizations that were protecting the environment, Rain Coast Conservation Society and Mountain View Conservation and Breeding Center, which are the organizations we support. So when the homeschooling book project came on, we figured, well, that's how we want to help. And we went with the topic of how many different groups of animals we can name. So,
and all the proceeds for your books are going to the charities that you were talking about.
Yes.
Ben, just very quickly, how does it feel to be a published author and have traveled the world at the ripe old age of 14?
It is the coolest feeling in the world. I mean, it's such a great experience. And I'm really, really thankful to be an author and to travel around the world.
Yeah. Well, you've got incredible parents too, and we should point out you didn't miss school all that time either. You were homeschooled, so you kept up on your studies. Great to be able to talk to you about your trip and, of course, your books, and good luck with the tour of the books and making money for your charities. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, no problem. Make sure to visit daveandben.com. That's where the books are for sale. First, they're $20 a set. daveandben.com.
Excellent.
Thank you very much for having us.
You're most welcome. And we're going to plug that again for you. For more information on where to buy David and Ben's book, if you miss it, then write it down. Go to our website, canadam.ctv.ca, and we'll have a link for you. Now, a look